Goodness, this is different level. This is a different level. This is the best sim racing upgrade you can make in the world right now. That's what people are saying. Goodness me, where do I start? I'm probably the YouTuber who's done the most sim racing in PSVR1 and PSVR2 over the last however many years. This is very different. To give you an idea, this blue AMG ahead of me here, you see the very subtle glint just between the AMG logo and the Mercedes logo? The way that's glinting and responding to my really tiny movements of my head makes me completely 100% believe that there is a blue life-size AMG about 5 meters ahead of me. And that's the most sort of significant thing I'm experiencing right now, which is that I genuinely believe that I'm in a one-to-one representation of Silverstone. I believe that I could get out of this car, and if I walked for 5 minutes, I would get to that grandstand there. It's very, very, very uncanny. It feels like I'm in Tron, and they've recreated Silverstone one-to-one proportion, and I'm very interested to see how that's going to affect my driving, because in something like PSVR2, you kind of feel like you're driving toy cars and you're a toy avatar. But I mean, this is a Ferrari 488 GT3. I've driven this car in real life. I've sat in this cockpit in real life. I've been in the harness, and I feel like I'm in a one-to-one representation of Ferrari GT, and I don't feel like it's a toy car. So this is a Pimax Crystal headset. They sent me a loan unit to review. There might be an affiliate link in the comments as well. It's very important that I haven't paid for this. It's a loan unit. I have to give it back. And I want to see whether this really is the biggest sim racing upgrade that you can do. And at the moment, the one-to-one feeling is kind of weirding me out. So I'm going to get this going, click start race, and I'm just going to give you my honest thoughts on how this is. So let's see, start race. And
going double five.
Well, that's weird when they take the hand off, but that's very weird. You know how you get the phantom heat in PSVR2? This feels like I'm wearing these sort of suede gloves in a race suit. I'm getting very subtle vibrations off the wheel, and there's vibrations on the wheel in the it's really weird. Oh my goodness me. This is different.
Green light, green light.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's a car. Oh my goodness. Goodness, this is different level. This is a different level. Magnus and Beckett's. I need to let you know what I'm feeling, but I can already sense that my tyres are not inflated fully. They're not up to temps because of the way it's wallowing. But the main thing here is because it feels so one-to-one, my brain is not having to interpret and work upon assumptions. It can just instinctively do it. I feel like
car on the left.
I feel like I'm genuinely driving a life-size Ferrari 488 GT3 at a life-size Silverstone, and therefore, unlike a computer game in 2D, I can just let my subconscious do what it needs to do. I feel really relaxed right now. And I feel like I'm actually responding more, sort of in a more reflex way to the feedback that I'm being given through the wheel, the visual feedback as well. I feel very comfortable behind this Lexus here, like it's just sort of existing in space very predictably in terms of a physics thing. I'm not worried about it at all. I don't think I'm going to crash into it. I know that it's a car the same as me, and therefore I can get really close to it. This is very weird. I wouldn't feel this comfortable, being behind a car like this in 2D, because I'd have to interpret a lot of stuff, and you know, what if I don't see the corner? But right now I'm just focusing on my usual reference points. I have to say, And it just so happens that there's a massive GT3 ahead of me, but it doesn't matter. This is like absolutely crazy. This feels like karting. I think this would make you a lot faster because you can just get in the groove so much quicker. I'm worried that it's going to be weird going back to 2D, but I'm starting to think, what does 2D have over this? I mean, the graphics, this is playing at 4K in ACC, and I'm recording at 4K as well, so I'm really hoping you're getting a smooth quality recording and can experience what I'm experiencing, because this feels like genuine 4K VR. Like, it's not blurry, it's not smudgy, it's not low resolution assets. I mean, look at the way that the metal sort of like air conditioning vent thing here is glinting sometimes. It makes it feel like it's a really small sliver of metal that's reacting as it should. Look at these glints. And that makes me think that it's proportionately sized to this one-to-one Ferrari 488. I mean, I'm in such a natural groove already. It's a bit like when you put someone new in a kart. Like, normally they find their feet really quickly because it's just all natural. Your subconscious can take over. Around the outside, maybe?
Clear on the right.
Yes, don't mind if I do. Thank you very much, I'll have you. And now the AMG, which just looks so good. And I feel like I'm more naturally able to take the corners, not overthinking it. I'm not trying to work out, look, this is the fastest thing to do in a game. I should be looking for this reference and I'm just doing it naturally like I do in karting. When I'm doing karting, I'm not fixated on a specific reference. I'm just sort of in tune with a rhythm, and I know that when it passes my peripheral, that's when I brake. And you become a lot more relaxed. And I mean, the sensations I'm getting now are very similar to the sensations that when I'm doing real world racing. And if you've seen the videos on my channel, when I'm racing for real, you can see that I'm often quite relaxed when I drive for real. And in a sim, sometimes I get quite tensed up. I get some Beckett. I mean, look at the way we just sort of like gracefully arcing through. A bit of understeer there, to be fair. But it just feels natural. It just feels so natural. It's a really natural and relaxing experience. But I'm sure that you could just do a whole session in here and you would get a lot faster because you would inherently and instinctively understand how the car's responding. Like at the beginning, I just knew, like, okay, these tyres are not up to temperature yet. Just take it easy because you're gonna, go deep through the corners. And now I can feel that the grip is there and available because my brain is just interpreting how the horizon is moving in front of me, like I'm in a one-to-one scale representation, which is where my body exists in the real world. My body doesn't exist in a 2D sort of, it's hard to explain. But I'm just playing here for the first time and showing you kind of how I'm responding and how I'm driving. The other thing is that the force feedback now just makes so much sense. Like sometimes force feedback to me is like, well, how should I use it? How should I interpret it? Here I'm not overthinking it. I wouldn't change the force feedback here at all. It just makes sense with what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling. Up the inside, I fancy it.
Clear on the right.
There's the AMG. No sir, I'm ahead of you. Can we get into the Lambo now? I mean, this is different level. I would love to do a race here where everyone's in VR. I'm genuinely thinking, like, why on earth would I do ACC now, not in this headset? I can't think of a reason. The quality is in this headset is as good. If I were to look at it side by side, I probably would see that it's not, because I think the screen would be a bit softer and I'm seeing further back from the pixels. But generally, it feels like a 4K experience. Unlike the PSVR2, which when I bought it and did my first review, I was like, oh, you've got to be careful if you're buying this. You're not going to have a 4K experience. It's going to be really blurry, really muddy. And yeah, it's really easy to set up, and this headset was very difficult to set up in comparison. A lot of cables, firmware updates. It was nowhere near as simple to set up. The PSVR2 just, I don't think can ever be beaten on that. I mean, it's one cable into PS5. But this makes it look like a child's toy, honestly. This feels like I'm in a purpose-built simulator, and it all feels like it should be super, super, super expensive. Like, this sort of experience, I imagine it's just unthinkable like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, money, it doesn't matter how much money you would have, you would not be able to buy this experience. And that's not the case now, as we're behind this Lambo. Come on, come on, come on. See these curbs here? I'm just very naturally in tune to where they are and how big they are. And this corner here, like cutting it, in 2D it can be difficult to work out. You have to, you know, second guess yourself, but not here. I'm just naturally tuned in. And when I'm behind a car like this, I'm still sort of feeling out my normal references. So I'm not really taking much notice of the Lambo now at all. I'm just looking past the corner, past the corner, past the corner, and then my subconscious is like, okay, well lift a bit, otherwise you're going to hit it. But I'm not fixated on it like I would be in 2D right now. I wouldn't be able to really perceive anything else other than Lambo, but here I'm happy to go into cops. Oh, maybe too happy, maybe too happy, maybe too relaxed. But I feel like, yeah, we could go in really close. Look how just comfortable I am. My goodness me, I took that curb. I think in 2D I would have been gone there. I don't know whether I'm just driving like I need to look back at this footage, because this is a very different experience for me in sim racing. Normally in sim racing I start relatively tense. I'm trying to push the boundaries, but here it just feels way more instinctive than I've ever experienced in sim racing. I've never had such an instinctive experience where I'm just almost letting my subconscious go for it. And you can hear me, I'm quite chatting away. But if I had a fan here, and if I had a little two-stroke engine, it would be like, I'd be feeling a lot more the sensations of just driving these cars for real. Coming into farm now. Wonder if we can just get on and win this race. Come on, let's do it then. I want to look at this footage back, and you'll be able to see now whether I'm just naturally taking sort of wider lines. I feel like I am. My subconscious just, it knows the width of the track. It's just one-to-one. It's a one-to-one experience. And 2D is definitely not one-to-one. And PSVR2 kind of feels like it's in some ways a miniature scale. But this doesn't. Come on, hard on the brakes there, mate. If we want this, patience, 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 go, 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 go. We're gonna do it in the inside of the cops this time. We're gonna go side by side, come on. Oh, it's the last lap! No! No, I wanted to go through side by side. This is so good. Right, I'm going to be doing a lot more racing in this headset, but let me know any questions you have specifically. This is the Pimax Crystal. Look up the specs of it so you can see what I'm perceiving here. Really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your questions. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time.